hear the sound of the breeze carrying us away. Dust in the rear view, free as a bird. This is our time, no matter what they say. Every mile behind only brought us here. Now the road is clear. Shotgun ride on my Friday night. Sunset fire burning in our eyes. Let's leave the past in the past and deal with it another day. All we got is this open road. No plans, just a cranked up radio. Ain't promising forever, ain't no end in sight. Girl, I'm loving the ride. You know I'm loving the ride. Oh yeah, loving the ride.
Hey friends, welcome back to Minor Details, the podcast where no detail is too minor and the real life moments matter most. I'm your host, Jess Minor. It's been a minute since I sat down and chatted with you guys. Life has been busy, as it always seems to be, but this week brought something I never expected, and honestly, I just felt like I needed to talk about it. One thing I've always promised with this podcast is that I would be fully transparent. I never want to only share the highlight reel. I want to share the real life moments too. The hard ones, the confusing ones, and the ones that leave you wondering what's next. So today, I'm going to share something that happened this week. I lost my job. Even saying those words out loud still feels strange. It was completely unexpected. There were no warnings, no conversations beforehand, no indication that something was wrong. It was one of those moments where you're just sitting there trying to process what's happening while a decision has already been made. From my perspective, there were accusations made about conversations I supposedly had regarding a coworker. Unfortunately, I never really got an opportunity to explain my side before the decision was made. And I think that's one of the things that hurt the most. Not just losing the job itself, but feeling like I never had a chance to defend my character. I've never been in this position before. I've never been fired from a job. I've always tried to work hard, build good relationships, and do my best wherever I've been. So when this happened, I was completely blindsided. The first person I called was Patrick. I held myself together pretty well while I was still in the office. I even told one of my favorite coworkers what had happened. But when I got to my car and called Patrick, the reality of it all finally hit me. And I cried a lot. I let myself feel it. I let myself be sad. I let myself be angry. I let myself be confused. And then I went home. When I got there, Chloe could tell something was wrong right away. She asked me what happened, and I told her the truth, that I'd lost my job. And without hesitation, she wrapped her arms around me and gave me a huge hug. And honestly, I needed that. I laid down on the couch afterward and just sat with everything for a little while. You know, when you're overwhelmed with sadness and it physically exhausts you? That's exactly how I felt. I was mentally drained, emotionally drained, completely exhausted. But after a little while, I decided I couldn't stay there all day. Vacation Bible school was happening at church, and they were finishing up decorations. So I got up and went. I remember telling myself, just go, get out of the house, do something. When I got there, I told one of the directors I wasn't having the best day and explained what had happened. Without hesitation, she pulled me into a hug and prayed over me. And in that moment, I knew I was exactly where I needed to be. Not because my problems disappeared, not because I suddenly felt okay, but because I was surrounded by people who loved me. People who reminded me I wasn't alone. Later, my friend Elizabeth showed up. She could tell I had been crying and I was upset. She hugged me and reminded me that everything was going to be okay. She encouraged me to go home, spend time in prayer, spend time in my Bible, and just reset. And deep down, I already knew that's what my heart needed. Because one thing I've really been learning lately is that God doesn't punish us. God doesn't close doors because he's angry with us. Sometimes he closes doors because he's making room for something better. And I know that's easy to say when you're not in the middle of heartbreak, but it's something I truly believe. The challenge is trusting him while you're waiting to see what comes next. That's where I'm at right now. Waiting, trusting, trying not to force answers, trying not to rush ahead of God, trying to remember that his plans are bigger than my own. At the same time, I've also been reminding myself that I am allowed to grieve. And just because I trust God doesn't mean I can't be sad. Just because I have faith doesn't mean I don't feel disappointed. I lost something, and loss deserves space. Over the last few days, Patrick has been incredibly supportive. He's reminded me that maybe this is an opportunity to actually slow down. Because if you know me, you know slowing down is not exactly my specialty. I'm always doing something. There's always another project, another responsibility, another event, another thing on my calendar. But maybe, just maybe, this season is asking me to pause, to be present, to spend more time with my kids, to spend more time with God, to breathe. One random thing that keeps popping into my head is actually from the movie Despicable Me 3. And I know that's such a mom reference. But there's a scene where Gru loses his job and he tells Lucy he feels like he doesn't have a purpose anymore. And for some reason, that scene keeps replaying in my mind. Because I found myself asking, what is my purpose? And the truth is, I know I have one. I know God created me for a purpose. I just think I'm being redirected. And redirection can feel very scary. Sometimes it feels like you're standing in the middle of a road with no signs pointing to where to go next. And that's where I am. I don't know exactly what's next. I don't know what doors are going to open. And I don't know what opportunities are coming. And if I'm being completely honest, that is so scary. But I'm choosing to believe that uncertainty doesn't mean absence. Just because I can't see what God is doing doesn't mean he isn't working. Something else that has brought me so much peace this week has been serving at church. Over the last year, I've watched God slowly grow my involvement in ministry. What started as volunteering at VBS turned into helping in Kidman on Sundays, then helping with Faith and Fitness, and now stepping into teaching. Every step has been small, but every step has felt intentional. And being around those kids this week has filled my heart in ways I can't even explain. Their faith is beautiful. Their excitement is contagious. Watching them learn about Jesus, ask questions, and talk about baptism, it reminds me of what really matters. It reminds me that purpose isn't always found in a paycheck. Sometimes purpose is found in service. Sometimes purpose is found in obedience. Sometimes purpose is found in simply showing up where God calls you. Right now, I'm not rushing to figure everything out. I'm not rushing to find the next job. I'm giving myself permission to sit in this season for a little while, to reflect, to pray, to listen, to heal. Will I eventually start looking at what's next? Of course. But right now, I'm focusing on what God has already placed in front of me. My family, my faith, my church, my podcast, the things that bring life back into my heart. And honestly, maybe this extra time means I'll finally get back to creating more content, recording more podcast episodes, and showing up consistently again. We're going to see, one day at a time. So if you're listening today and you're going through your own hard season, I just want to remind you of something. You are allowed to grieve. You are allowed to be disappointed. You are allowed to feel hurt. But don't stay there forever. Keep your heart open, keep your faith strong, And trust that sometimes God closes doors because he sees a path we can't see yet. My minor detail for today is this: things are hard right now, but hard does not mean hopeless. I don't know exactly what's next, but I know I'm not walking through it alone. And for now, that's enough. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for letting me be honest. Thank you for sitting with me through the hard conversations and not just the fun ones. I appreciate every single one of you. And hopefully, next episode, we'll be back with a little more laughter and a little less crying. Until next time, remember, no detail is too minor, and the real life moments matter most. Bye.